That's it, huh?
Yeah.
When he passed, he hadn't straightened out his affairs, so there was nothing set in stone about it.
Not the holy grail of Trans Ams, but pretty close.
Michael Lightbourne, he found this rare muscle car.
Well, my dad bought it before he was married to my mom. He bought it new. It was sitting in the showroom with the bright red bow on it. And he went in and he bought it.
Look at the webs, how they're stuck on the ground and the tires here. See that? This car clearly has been sitting here for many years.
I was brought home from the hospital in the Trans Am. It may sound awful of me, but I asked him after he got sick, well, what about the Trans Am? And he said, I think I already wrote it down. It's in writing that I want you to have it.
Yeah.
And so I just left it because you don't want to talk with your dad about if he passes. So I never brought it up again.
Oh, hi. He said I could YouTube it. Do it. Okay. I'm Jerry.
My name is Amanda Portillo. I don't know very much about Super Duty, except I do know that it's a rare find and it goes fast because we used to go fast in it.
Super Duty fast goes back to 1961. Pontiac applied Super Duty only to the racetrack reliable engines. That term breathed its last in '63 with the 421 Super Duty. So, when Pontiac brought back that Super Duty in 1973 and 74, people got real excited, same as they do today, dogs included. The excitement brought all these people in, but they were also here to support Amanda. Currently on dialysis and the kidney transplant wait list.
After he passed, all of a sudden he had promised it to my half-sister. And I'm like, I don't think so. So it became an issue of having to fight for it.
If this car was up north, it would definitely have about 1/4 inch thick of undercoating.
Who was this guy? He sure knew cars.
And it would still get rust because you put salt in the water and stuff like that. But if you look at this car here, look, there's no rust. Look, you can hear the metal. See that? So this car is not rusted. So any restorer knows that you don't want a rust bucket. Okay? You look in here, there's no rust in here. Look at that.
Wow.
This makes this car very, very special.
I've been riding in it my whole life. My dad and I, ever since I was a child, would start tinkering with it and take it out for drives.
What
And
about the interior?
the interior is original also. Look at the pattern here. You cannot get this perforated pattern. Just like it's the same perforation as they have on the roof. If you see the perforation, it's the same material. A lot of people don't know that. Okay? You see? It's original to the car. So everything is original. Door handles are original. You can tell how it's weather beat here. The only problem with El Paso is that it's so hard on the sun, and like all the weather stripping will dry out and crack. The weather stripping on these cars, it's very rare to find them intact because the sun. You ever look at the camera?
Well, I could probably learn from this guy.
Oh, I'm Jacobson. I'm a picture car coordinator. I work in the motion picture industry. I just finished a movie with Liam Neeson called Memory of a Killer, and so I was a picture car coordinator for that. What's better for you?
No, the camera, actually.
So this is very, very rare. Fine, extremely rare. It was rare.
Everybody thinks it's because it's that car. It's my dad's car that I am after, so I don't know a lot about the car. I know it's special.
Look at that.
What'd you find?
It's the original valve cover with the Super Duty sticker. Look at.
It wouldn't really matter what it was. It's just because he loved it, so I loved it. And not to sound silly, but I like the speed of it too. I'm a speed freak.
I love it. This is a capsule trapped in time. Like inside a bubble. Fuck, you don't see this anymore.
All 4 tires held air.
It represents a lot because this is something of my dad's that I know he enjoyed. It was a big part of who he was, and we shared so many memories in it. He didn't run it when they were around, so they don't understand. They don't understand the car.
Yeah.
So it just became important for me to try and get it. It means something.
These are vintage BF Goodrich Radial TA tires. Also, you can tell this is original rim. This is the original Pontiac symbol. Original. The beauty rims are original because these were actually brushed. If you look carefully, they're brushed. They look like it has little tiny little lines, but these are original. They're original to the car. And also, if you notice here, look at the tire.
You fight for the things that mean something to you. And I don't know if they ever worked on it with him like I did. Growing up, I mean, in high school, I was a girly girl and I'd go and get my nails done. And that exact Saturday, come and help me change the oil. And I'm like, okay, never forget my nails because they're gonna be ruined. But we would do stuff like that.
What about the paint? Tell me if it's original.
That paint is original to
How
the
can you
car.
tell?
I can tell right away. One quick way of showing is when you open the door here, if you notice the sticker here, nothing's been taped. It's original, and the weather stripping here, if you pull back a little bit, you could tell. See, it still has the original paint.
Oh, that's good.
That's one good way of checking. Okay. Also, another way of checking is when you look at, you go into the engine compartment here, you'll notice the rubber stops inside here.
Yeah.
They're still factory the color, and then like the clamps will not be painted. See, and then these bolts are still unpainted. Originally, that's how they came. They were assembled after they painted the bottom. Remember telling about the weather stripping with the sun? See how this is starting to break? See, it's starting to break into pieces and stuff. That's normal for El Paso.
We even had a court hearing to try and just let me be the first to buy it. And the judge was like, I was crying. And he's like, I wish it was different.
What about under the hood? What do you see here?
I see right away, you want to look at this tag I had already removed here. I can see that it's a factory 455 tag. Also coinciding with the VIN number we found with the car. And so I also noticed the 4-core radiator.
Oh.
That tells me that this is a big block car. It's got a factory 4-core. See how thick it is? If I open this up, it'll show the 4 cores inside. Let me see, I can just grab that real fast. If you look deep inside, I'm sure you'll see the 4 cores. Just don't have a flashlight. But you'll see that it's got 4 cores. You can count them. They're in their 4-core radiator.
Okay.
These are heavy duty support beams for the car.
One on each side, yeah.
And this is original AC Delco cap, which is original as well. Also, look at notice the factory clamps. See how they're kind of odd looking?
Why do you figure the SD 455 is faded on this side and not
This
the
side,
other?
on the driver's. The sun was hitting the driver's side of the car.
Oh, okay.
Look at that. If I'm not mistaken, George told me about this. I've never seen one. That this is the starter relay. Look, with a switch. Look, you hear it? Look, watch.
Oh yeah, the clicking.
Is that
You hear it
factory?
click? Yeah. Yeah, look at the plugs. You can tell right away it's factory wiring. Look at that.
Oh,
See
that's,
that? And also you have a trim tag in here.
oh.
Let's go ahead and look at that trim tag. Let me clean this
You
up.
got some water?
Some
Bring
water.
some water. I got a water bottle out. Oh, here you go. He's going to put oil.
That's good. Yeah, that'll work. So, this pretty much tells us everything we need to know as far as paint code, body code, you know, whatever the car is, what it came with.
What about this? Is this the code?
That's the VIN number here.
The 5th digit of that VIN is going to be the engine code. For privacy, I will not reveal the full VIN, but the 5th digit is an X, and that's the 455 Super Duty. 2 is for Pontiac, V for Trans Am, 87 is for 2-door coupe.
Oh, look at this. Look at the inspection. Should I wipe it off?
Yeah.
Look at that inspection sticker. 1978.
because that year they moved to New Mexico where registration was not required.
And this car was built November of 1973.
Okay.
1 month after I was born. Wow. I'm a month older than this car, guys. Isn't that crazy? That's how old I am.
Let's see the mileage on it. We have 89,254.
To the Nova. I don't have it.
It's got air conditioning. That wheel's in excellent shape. Look at that center cap.
It's not cracked. You know? Look at the brakes. Look at the brake and the see, they're cherry. Notice that it's not torn. It may be dry rotted and cracked, but it is not torn. Look at the tach. It goes up to 8,000 RPMs. And the speedometer goes up to 160.
It's got air conditioning.
It's an AC car, factory AC car. That's a rarity too, just so you know. Getting an AC car with a big block like this is pretty rare.
Automatic.
Of course, the famous engine-turned or machine-turned aluminum dash.
So I'm looking under here to look at a couple of things. For a normal Trans Am from the 70s, it'll have a rear sway bar. Okay, so this one has a sway bar. This is a factory dual exhaust car, but it's got the original muffler in it still with a 10-bolt rear end. Most people would cut this out and put true dual exhaust and put Flowmasters or whatnot, but this is factory dual exhaust on this car, making it very rare.
Even these tips.
Even the tips are original to this car.
Little damage right here.
Yeah.
Right, Jacob?
Yeah, I see that. It's a shame. But
Trans Am's still there.
We'll spray it with water and see what happens.
Okay. Tearing it up, Eddie?
No, it doesn't have a key, so we were trying to put it in neutral.
oh, where did you find that? You found one. Man, really?
I said, I'm like, yes, I was gonna
No
be
key.
Okay, so time to roll the car out, put it on a trailer, and take it to Amanda. I can't wait to see the look on her face. I think it's gonna kind of be like her getting to see her dad again, considering all those memories that car is gonna bring back.
Yeah.
With his second family, it came very contentious with me versus them. We haven't spoken in 2.5 years. I no longer have a relationship with my half-sister. To make an agreement, they offered to let me have it as part of the settlement of the case. They made that offer because we wanted it to just be done. It was during mediation, and they came back with they would let me have the car and my equal percentage of my dad's estate, and that was it.
What advice would you give other owners?
You need to have a legitimate will there's no room for error. You know, put it down in writing, because it's a battle when people want the same thing. I haven't seen it in so long, and it's finally mine. You know, I had to fight for this really hard, and I'm glad I got it.
Yeah.
Sí, que se sabes, güey. Sí, que se desenvuelve.
¿Por qué querían la
Sí, que se desenvuelve.
Why don't you just take it?
This is my dream car right now.
Yeah.
So
The high-pressure spray knocked off the dust and exposed the rust. Had to be rust. It wasn't coming off, and there was no paint left. But not like normal rust.
Everything rusts. Let's be clear. But the rust in the desert Southwest is different to the rust from up north. See what I mean? Because the rust we have here does not pit through. Because we don't have salt in the atmosphere. Like if you're in California, you know, you're by the ocean, you have salt in the atmosphere. We don't have that here. Or do we have salt on our roads? And it doesn't snow in the desert. We're in the desert. So this metal can stay like this for many years.
Looks like it hasn't been modified or anything. It's very original.
Yes, no, he didn't do anything to it. Didn't do anything to it. So I'm gonna try and keep all of that what I can, but it does need a lot of TLC, and hopefully we can save as much as we can.
That's very normal on original paint. See that?
What, for lacquer?
Yeah, it cracks. Lacquer cracks. See, and it flakes off into pieces. Do you see that? That's very, very normal. So this proves that this is original paint.
The cracks in the paint are more visible on top of the car, which makes sense. These areas were more exposed to the direct light of the sun. The sides of the car just might buff out pretty well. I'm not seeing cracks in the paint, and that Trans Am decal on the front fender looks pretty good. Cracks on the crease at the top of that fender. Overall, the hood looks pretty good. There's a patch at the back where the paint is cracked.
I know it's not an everyday car, and I know it's a bit of a find, but to me it's priceless. The sentimental value is too great on it, and I want to make it shine for him and in his memory.
Ran out of gas. I bought it up. Very nice.
So Anthony,
Is it a brake, Chico?
what did you learn today?
The handbrake.
You know what, honestly, I had never heard of these SD Trans Ams.
These guys are hot rodders too.
Car enthusiast.
Right.
So you guys just came down to see this, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
Have you learned something today?
Very much. I learned that
You-
these cars are hard to find, and when you find one, it's like it's part of history.
You gotta leave it like that.
That's what we love.
It's factory bent, and it's cut. It'll cut you if you run your fingers too hard. You see that? Just nonchalant. Just kind of run your fingers in here.
Hello, Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie, have you met Jerry?
How's it going, Jerry?
Michael likes to say Eddie's tow truck is a lowrider.
Here's the deal. If you find an SD Trans Am 455, you have a 90% chance that the car was raced, wrecked, trashed, and it does not have the original motor. So to find one having all these qualities, super rare find. Super rare find.